And we're back! Greetings and welcome to the 13th installment of Big Bad Bat Reps. This week has my High Elves taking on Eric's Orcs and Goblins list for Malorians around the world in 12 games deal. So, again, 2,200 point lists. We're practicing for the North Star tournament. I had played Eric last week, his Daemons. My buddy Ian left to Scotland for a very long time. He was another Orc and Goblin player at my club. Eric also had an army, so we lined up this game to get it done for Malorians around the world in 12 games. It should be this is a classic matchup. It's always a fun time to play Orcs and Goblins. Let's get on to the lists. My list is the same as last week. I have my general is my level 4 Archmage, riding a steed with the Book of Hoth. She goes in the Dragon Princes. I have a level 2 mage running death with a Dispel Scroll. A noble BSB, he's on a steed with dragon armor, enchanted shield, and lance. He also goes in the Dragon Princes. Handmaiden with the Reaver Bow Iron Curse icon. She sits in the large sister unit. Got 10 silver helms with shields, standard musician, 2x5 reavers, 14 archers with the standard, 12 dragon princes with full command and banner of the world dragon, 19 sisters of Avalorn, 3 bolt throwers, and a great eagle. You can see a little bit of my deployment here. It was meeting engagement. I actually deployed after him, but my BSB and my handmaiden were held in reserve. So I had to have my sister unit on the right corner there, stay within 5 inches of that board edge so the handmaiden could come on in my turn and join that unit. And same story with the Dragon Princes. My BSB was also held in reserve, so they had to stick within 9 inches of that back line so he could come in and join them. Other than that, you can see I got my bolt thrower in the building, the 2 bolt throwers down there, eagle, unit of 10 silver helms right in front of that tower, my 2 reavers up front to hopefully get a chaffy position, and my archers are behind that unit of reavers. Alright, Eric's Orcs and Goblins list. These are always fun. He has a level 4 Savage Orc, Great Shaman with the Fencer's Blades and Lucky Shrunken Head. Black Orc Warboss, Heavy Armor, Enchanted Shield, Crown of Command. A Black Orc BSB. Level 2 Orc Shaman with a Scroll. A bunch of big bosses here. He's got one with Sword of Striking, one with Sword of Might, and one with a Great Weapon. Those guys are all going to go in that unit of boys. He's got a unit of 26 Savage Orc Biggins, additional hand weapons, full command, that unit of Orc Boys, 2 units of 20 Night Goblins with 2 Fanatics each, 5 Wolf Riders, a Wolf Chariot, a Boar Chariot, a Mangler Squig, a Pump Wagon with the Outrigger and Spiky Rolla upgrades, 2 Spear Chuckers, Doom Diver, and a Rock Lava. You can see he has his Pump Wagon kind of up to the front there, War Machine Hill with the Doom Diver, Spear Chukka, and Rock Lava. Again, this was meeting engagement, so you had to roll for all of your units and characters separately, and on a 1 they're held in reserve. Eric had like 3 or 4 of his characters, and the Spear Chukka and one of his chariots held in reserve. He just rolled a ton of 1s at the end. It was pretty crazy. So his stuff is to kind of hugging the back line to allow those characters to come in and get in the units where he needs that leadership. Yeah, so that's his army and his deployment. For spells, I roll up with my level 4 Shadow, Miasma, the Withering, Pit of Shades, and Occam's Mindrazor. I had some doubles and stuff, but this is pretty much the loadout I'm always looking for this Shadowcaster. Just everything there is really kind of what I need all the time. My level 2 rolls up Doom and Darkness and Purple Son of Xarius, 2 very useful spells in this matchup here. Unfortunately, he is only a level 2, so he's going to have to throw a lot of dice at these spells to try to get either of them off, but, they could prove handy. In between his level 4 and level 2, he knows all of the spells here. His level 4 knows Foot of Gork, Here We Go, Fist of Gork, and Hand of Gork. And his level 2 knows Ed Butt and Brain Busta. Yep, so he's got that all covered. I win the Vanguard roll off and move these Reavers up like so. And on his end, his Wolf Riders get a Vanguard move. He moves up just a little bit to kind of pretty much deny me my Vanguard with my other unit of Reavers. You can see there that just get to kind of shuffle forward an inch or two. Eric wins the roll-off to go first, and he's got that random move stuff between the Pump Wagon and the Mangler. They both kind of get real close to my stuff, but don't manage to get into anything this turn, so I'll have to shoot those guys down. He keeps his big units to the rear. They don't move because he needs to move those characters into those units this turn, so most of his backline stuff just kind of hangs tight. Um, Over on the right flank, my right flank, his chariot comes in on that edge and moves up like 7 or 8 inches, whatever its movement is, to put some pressure on my fairly unprotected right flank, but not that big of a deal. This is what it looks like after turn 1 Orcs and Goblins movement. Again, I said his stuff kind of hung to the back there to get those characters in. Not much really else happened. Winds of Magic was 8-6. He threw 5 dice at foot of Gork. It went off, but not irresistibly. So I'm going to have to use my scroll this turn, so I stop that. For shooting, his first Spear Chukka kills one of my bolt throwers. The Rock Lava kills the bolt thrower in the building. I mean, he's hitting bullseyes and rolling 5s and 6s to hit. Not necessarily traditionally the way the Orcs and Goblins do it, but it's working out for him so far. And his Doom Diver sends this guy flying through the air, and he goes a little bit off the Dragon Princes, but redirects and hits in, and he ends up killing 4 Dragon Princes. Ouch. That's one matchup that this list, my list, doesn't really favor is these War Machine heavy Orcs and Goblins stuff. You know, there's no armor. I'm toughness 3. It's a tough deal, and Banner of the World Dragon doesn't help here. So they're gonna have to weather some shooting. And I pass all my relative panic checks and everything's fine, but still, pretty effective shooting phase for him. He killed 2 of my bolt throwers and killed 4 Dragon Princes. So, ouch. So, High Elf turn 1. I got some random movement stuff in my face. I'm going to focus my shooting on that. And I'm fairly certain those 2 units of Night Goblins are housing Fanatics. So I do my Chaffee thing, and I ride up my Reavers to get some Fanatics loose here. I'm going to try to do it on both of the units. So the Night Goblin unit on the left releases its 2 Fanatics as my Reavers get just within 8 inches. And the first one goes 8 inches, or I'm sorry, less than 8 inches and ends up a little bit short. But the second one goes 11 inches going through these guys and doing 2 wounds. They pass their panic, but you can see where the other one fell a little bit short. Same story over here. These Reavers come over here and get just within 8 inches and release the Fanatics. He decides to send one toward them, and he comes pretty darn short. Then he sends one off, actually through his Wolf Riders in an effort to keep the Silver Helms at bay over there. And that one kills 4 of the Wolf Riders, but he passes his panic. And just another picture. Now all these Fanatics are in the middle of the field. Early game, they're kind of keeping him from moving up a little bit, even though he's got enough bodies. But at least I have the shooting, hopefully, to deal with him and get rid of this stuff so I can get some of my combat units into his stuff. So the rest of High Elf movement, my Sisters of Avalorn don't really move much at all. I think they might move up a couple inches. The Dragon Prince is there. The BSB runs and joins them. My Eagle flies up to get Chaffee. My Silver Helms on the right flank march through those woods in an effort to kind of maybe get around on the right side there. They lose 1 to dangerous terrain. Another pick of the Silver Helms trying to get around the flanks. Again, you can see that lone Wolf Rider survivor and that other Fanatic are still hanging tight there. Winds of Magic is 5-4. I roll... I think I roll all my dice at a small pit of shades, and I target that the lone Wolf Rider. I roll a bullseye, or maybe I drift 1 inch. Either I think I drift 1 inch, still hitting that Wolf Rider. He fails his check, and the Night Goblins right behind him fail their panic and run off the board. So nice little bonus there. For the shooting phase, the 14 archers let loose some shots at the big mangler squig there. He went into the woods with his movement last time, and he passes dangerous terrain and stuff. But he's got a little bit of cover there. I only managed to sneak 2 wounds on him. It would have been nice to get rid of him, but now he's got 1 wound left. And the sisters and handmaiden let loose a good volley into that pump wagon and remove it from the table, no problem. And my last remaining bolt thrower multi-shots one of the fanatics off the board. And with nothing in combat, we move on to Orc and Goblin turn 2. So he declares a charge on the bolt thrower with the chariot that came in on the last turn, and he ends up failing that. And the fun part of his phase, the fanatics and manglers get to do all their random movement weird shenanigans. The pump wagon's dead, but all of the fanatics just kind of crisscross and do some goofy stuff. Nothing really much happens. They miss everything. The mangler picks a line which would have put himself through the archers and into the sisters. He needs a big roll here. He comes up just a bit short. Again, he's got 1 wound there, so I'm going to have to concentrate some fire into him or I'm in big trouble. Here's a picture of post Orcs and Goblins 2 movement phase. You can see there's that one Reaver left. I can't remember what happened to him, but he's fleeing for some reason. I don't remember if he took a fanatic thing or not. I think he might have got hit by a fanatic and killed 2 more of those guys, but I think he panicked and he's now fleeing across the board. Magic for Orcs and Goblins is 9 to 5. He throws 6 dice at a big old foot of Gork, and he gets that off. I roll all my 5, and I can't get it done. I burnt my Dispel Scroll turn 1 on it, and it gets through this time. So the foot comes down and kills 3 Silver Helms, and then on a 4-up, it moves to something else. And after that, he sends it into the unit of 5 Reavers here, and he kills 3 of them. They fail their panic test, and they take off running. Then he rolls a 1, and I get to place it. And a bit of a blurry photo, but I place it over his big Savage Orc dealio, and it drifts off. So for the Orcs and Goblins shooting phase, which had a really successful turn 1, his first Spear Chukka rolls a 1, and it can't shoot this turn, not that big of a deal. His other Rock Lava, or his 1 Rock Lava, shoots at my Eagle, hits Bullseye, kills that thing dead. Doom Diver shoots at the Dragon Princes and kills 2 more of them. They're just getting whittled down. And his other Spear Chukka, I think, misses. But still, again, 2 more Dragon Princes dead, Eagle dead. His shooting's really taking its toll. High Elf turn 2, I don't declare any charges. I move my Sisters of Avalorn up to get more in range of some shooty stuff. My archers are going to stay put and shoot that Mangler dead. I move my Dragon Princes up. My Illyrian Reavers did rally, and I move them up over there, just short of those woods. And I nudge my Silver Helms on the top there, just out of the woods. So if they want to declare a charge, they're not going to be taking any dangerous terrain, and my lone Illyrian Reaver there continues to flee across the board all by himself. Winds of Magic is 6 to 6. I throw all 6 dice at a big pit of shades. It's time for me to do some damage here. It goes off irresistibly. I think I actually re-roll one of my dice, and it ends up being a 6 with the Book of Hoth. So that's going down. You can see here I roll a bullseye centered right on that big unit with his general and all of his small Orc Big Boss characters in there. He passes all of the lookout sirs for that, but that's going to kill quite a few. And it ends up killing 14 of those guys. They pass their panic, but yep, that unit's depleted pretty darn good. And for shooting, these archers let loose and nick the final wound off that Mangler. The Sisters of Avalorn and Handmaiden shoot at that wolf chariot that was over on this end, and they kill that. And with nothing in combat, we move to Orcs and Goblins turn 3. And he starts, well, he has to do all the fanatic stuff, but he charges his boar chariot into this bolt thrower and gets in pretty easily. You can see his last two remaining fanatics here. They just kind of zigzag. They just, one goes to the left, one goes to the right. They don't hit each other. They zigzag, and that is his movement phase. He moves up a little bit of his other stuff, um, not too aggressively, but I think he might have reformed his big Savage Arc big block there. I'm not sure. Maybe he does in the next turn, but not much movement here for him. Winds of Magic is, excuse me, 7 to 5. So again, he's got a lot of dice here. And he rolls 6 dice at Foot of Gork and casts it irresistibly. So we're gonna see this fun stuff again. He casts it on the. He targets the Silver Helms first and kills 2 more of them. Then he targets the Silver Helms again. Well, it goes off again, and he puts it on the Silver Helms. He hits all 4 of them there, and those are my armor saves. So I lose that whole unit. And on a 4-up, it goes again, and he does it again. Then he puts it on the sisters and hits a bullseye with that and kills like 10 or 11, or maybe even be 12 of them. Just stomps. It's just like the perfect unit for the Foot of Gork. It lands right on there and hits just a ton of them. Yeah, just a bunch of those ladies die, and he rolls a 1 again now this time, and I get to put it on his dudes, and I put it on that Savage Orc block again, and it drifts off. So apparently I'm no good at running the Foot of Gork. So after all that crazy stomping, and it was nuts there. That was crazy. Eric rolls up a miscast 3, and his Savage Orc Shaman's going to go down the hole. Only 4 of the Savage Orcs with him died due to that big blast, but now he's out his level 4, but I think that was a good deal on his part there. He took out those Silver Helms and half that unit of Sisters. And once those unit of Sisters of Avalorn start getting depleted, they really start losing their effectiveness, and he took care of it in one stomp there. So good spell, good play. So that was pretty punishing. We moved to the Orc and Goblin shooting phase, which has been equally punishing so far this game. One of his Spear Chuckas shoots at my Dragon Prince bus. Of course, rolls like a 6 to hit and kills 2 Dragon Princes. His other Spear Chukka kills the lone Reaver that was in front there, and that's the last one of them. No panic there. His Rock Lava does drift off. I think he tried putting it on top of my level 4 at this point because I wasn't getting a lookout, sir. But that drifted off and didn't hit anything. And the Doom Diver scatters off of the Dragon Princes and onto the last fleeing Reaver there and kills them. So he got those Reaver points and managed to kill a couple more Dragon Princes. So it's getting pretty gross over here. The Chariot destroys the bolt thrower up top and reformed. You can see there on the top corner. We move into High Elf 3, where the Dragon Princes charge into that unit of Orc Boys that has all those characters in there. He's got his big Orc War Boss General and 3 Orc Big Bosses in that unit. I don't know what they all have, but hopefully I can destroy these guys on the charge. Here's another pic of the what's left of my Dragon Prince bus crashing into that smaller unit of Orc Boys that was depleted by the Pitter Shades. Really a shame about all the casualties that have happened to that bus. It typically gets to crash into something with a lot more bodies, but I can't endure any more magic or any more shooting stuff, or this unit's gonna go. So I got to try my hand at combat. Again, having my last bolt thrower destroyed, my Silver Helms wrecked, I'm pretty much dealing with my Dragon Princes here, my sister unit, and my archers. It's pretty much all I have left. So I just kind of shuffle those guys around in the back to get better shooting stuff. The Sisters of Avalorn shoot, oh no, I'm sorry, magic is 6 to 4. I throw 4 dice at the Withering to try and get this unit in front of me kind of weakened. Hopefully I can get rid of him on the charge and overrun. He uses his Dispel Scroll for that, and then he's got the 4 dice to dispel my little spell that I throw like 2 dice at. Shooting phase here, the sisters shoot at those Night Goblins and peel off like 7 or 8. They pass their panic. And I didn't get a pic of the combat that happened with the Dragon Princes, but essentially I did a bunch of wounds to a bunch of his guys. There was just a couple bit left, but he had his general in the second rank. He had all those other characters in the command people. I think there was a challenge involved. I won by a super ton, but his general had Crown of Command, so they stick. So Orcs and Goblins turn 4. He charges up those Night Goblins into the flank of the Dragon Prince. Is going to add some combat res there, I'm sure. This is the turn he swift reforms his Savage Orcs and gets them in a spot to come help out there in the flank for next turn. Which is really super scary because if I don't dispatch these guys here, I'm going to take a charge from that Savage Orc thing. And I don't know how many guys I'm going to have left, but that's a lot of points sitting there in those 5 models. A lot of points. So the magic phase is 5 to 3. He throws a couple. His level 4 is gone now. He throws a couple dice at a Brainbuster or Edbutt or something from his level 2 on one of my guys, and I think he rolls all of his dice, and I roll my 3, and I end up getting 2 6s and dispel it. Shooting phase, I believe he tries to put Rock Lava on my mage there, and it drifts off and doesn't hit anything. One of his spear chuckas hits and kills one of these gals. Then the Doom Diver hits and does a couple hits, does 2 wounds, but I show here I roll my 2 6s. I got the Iron Curse icon on the Handmaiden, so woohoo! Saved 2 Sisters of Avalorn there. The only combat is that one with the Dragon Princes and the remaining characters and stuff. We kind of stick things at bay. I don't kill his general. He's in base contact now. His characters have magic weapons, and I get saves from that. And I end up, I think, just sticking there. I might lose one guy, but it's still going on. So this is what it looks like after Orcs and Goblin. He had moved his chariot up a little bit last turn after destroying the bolt thrower. He's going to maybe try and get a charge on those sisters. This is my turn. Top my 4 movement. I move my archers and my sisters up a little bit. I got to try to shoot at some stuff and get some points here. It's really all I have left. Magic is... don't see what it was here, but I got a good phase. I had a lot of dice, and I roll Occam's Mindraiser. Like I said, I roll up Occam's Mindraiser. I get it irresistibly. So they're going to be Occam's. I need to take out these last couple characters, and the strength is going to be exactly what I need to do. What I need to get it done. I get a miscast. I don't even know what it is. It's a small temp. Miscast 5. Small template comes. It puts a wound on my caster, and it actually puts a wound on his general too. But now everyone there is going to be strength 9, so that's a good deal. The shooting phase sees me. I think I plunk a wound on one of his war machines. That's about it. I don't think the sisters even had range on anything. So that's the end of my turn essentially. We go to combat here, and obviously I'm all strength 9'd up, and I kill all those characters, no problem. To the side, the Night Goblins are still steadfast, but there's no general anymore. They break and flee, and I pursue a whopping 3 inches. This game has had so much crazy stuff going on. That casting that Occam's was kind of my last ditch effort to try and just destroy that unit. I was hoping they would break with the general dead, and then I could do like a an 8, a 9, or a 10 pursuit. Even if I didn't catch them, I would still be that much farther away from those Savage Orcs. Now I just pursued 3 inches, and they're breathing down my neck, and it's not good. So it's Orcs and Goblins turn 5. He declares a charge on those Dragon Princes, obviously, and I know if he touches me, I'm gonna just be dead. So I elect to flee. I got a lot of boardroom here. Hopefully I can stay on, the table while fleeing, because I'm gonna need double ones. But I flee through those Night Goblins. He redirects his charge on the Sisters of Avalorn, and I also elect to flee. So the Savage Orc block fails its charge and just moves up a couple inches. His Night Goblins fail to rally and flee through my Dragon Princes. Excuse me, taking a couple wounds from that. Magic, he actually throws. I don't know what it's written down here, but he ends up chucking a bunch of dice and getting an irresistible force on a brain buster on my death mage. Um, that's going to get a wound through on him. He rolls miscast 7, which is everyone in base contact takes a hit, and he loses a couple savage orcs for his trouble there. His Doom Diver tries to shoot at the Sisters of Avalorn and misfires and rolls 1 and destroys himself. The Rock Lobber, I believe, drifts off and doesn't hit anything. And the Spear Chuck, I think, also misses. He's just kind of targeting the Sisters of Avalorn at this point, trying to get those points. But I'm hanging on to him for now. So there's no charges, but I got some rallying to do, and these guys rally up on Snake Eyes. Yep, that little unit rallied. I don't know if that's good or bad, but they rally, so they turn around. The sisters also rally. The sisters rally, like I said, and reform to face that chariot, being plenty of distance away from those savage orcs. And my cavalry there, they reform to face that stuff there. Magic is 6 to 5. I throw 6 dice at a boosted Pit of Shades, kind of right in the middle of that War Machine Hill, thinking I can get a bunch of points there. He goes to dispel with his 5 dice, and he rolls like 4 6s. So he dispels with quadruple 6s onto shooting. The Sisters of Avalorn let loose, and the Handmaiden there shoot at that chariot and take it down no problem. With nothing in combat, we move to Orc and Goblin, turn 6. So maybe a little bit of a spoiler alert here, but we measure from that Savage Orc block to the Dragon Prince unit, and I thought I had reformed needing him at 12, but upon remeasuring and sloppy play by myself, we figured out it's an 11, and he duly rolls up that 11. So those guys are going to get into there. Not good. Magic, he has most of it's all like direct damage, and he's in combat now with the stuff. Nothing's in his front arc, so he doesn't cast any spells. But there's not enough dudes for a Lookout Sir in the Sisters unit, so he puts a Rock Lobber on my Death Mage's head and rolls a bullseye and takes him out. Man, it's just he's been having such great luck with these war machines, and it's really devastating. I mean, when the Orc and Goblin stuff's working, it can just shred your army apart, especially one like mine that has a lot of cavalry with those Doom Divers and just spear chuckers were hitting. Everything was just really going for him in this game. So we do the combat with the Dragon Princes. Well, it's my Standard Bearer, my BSB, and my Mage are the only ones left. He ends up killing my Mage and killing my last remaining Dragon Prince. I'm in a challenge. I think my BSB guy was in the challenge and kills one of his dudes and gets some overkill, but I end up sticking. So, High Elf turn 6 here, last turn of the game. This one has been a bloody battle. There's not much left. I move my archers up and my sisters up. The archers shoot at the Rock Lava and manage to get enough hits and 6s on the 2 rolls to get rid of that. So there's some points. The Sisters of Avalorn shoot at the Spear Chukka and can't finish it off. My BSB hangs on in combat down there with his armor save, and he's got a 1-up armor save. And that's the game, man. This has been a bloody one. All the double 6s and double 1s and crazy spells and just things going on. We add this up, and we're within like 50 points of each other. So this is going to be a draw. What a suiting result to what an awesome game. This was just great, a fun one to play. So many ups and downs. A great entry into Malorians around the world in 12 games. This was just a blast. Orcs and Goblins are just fun. That's it for this week. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.